cups of champagne, purple 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 cups of champagne, champagne, champagne.
Ladies and ugly men, welcome to Purple Cups and Champagne. I'm your host, Handsome Contreras.
What's going on, everybody? Security John Cheddie, a.k.a. the Brown Pat Rowley.
And to our right is no one, because motherfuckers want to be on daddy duty for the rest of their lives. This ain't paternity leave. This ain't a real job, bro.
It's paternity leave, man.
No.
Shout out to Joshy.
Because think about it. Paternity leave doesn't make sense. You're always going to be the dad. It don't change. So why you need that leave?
Because, it's a new baby, and then, a little baby and stuff, you know what I mean?
Dog, it's been 7 weeks. The new baby shit is out the window.
She's still a new baby.
Oh, my bad. It's been 6 weeks. You're right, but next week, that's it. The new baby shit is over.
It's over by next week. Shout out to Josh.
Shit. Big shout out to Josh. Big shout out to everybody. As we get closer and closer to episode 100.
Yeah, man.
I just get more and more excited. I
can't wait for it.
It's been a dynamic shift, obviously, having, Joshy out. But it's still, he'll be back for episode 100. A lot of the crew, hopefully, will be back for episode 100. Took the file this morning.
Yeah, there's going to be some special stuff for episode 100. It's going to be a nice little celebration.
I think episode 100 is also going to start a lot of new shit because we're bringing in a cameraman and stuff like that. A little more for you guys. You guys got to understand, we want to do our best to give you guys top quality content and more frequently. It's just, obviously, with shifts that are going on in life and in work, shit happens. But we getting there.
Absolutely.
Woo! That's a nice bottle, Cheddie.
Yeah, good job. Good pick.
It wasn't me.
Good pick.
I said Cheddie so you could say that it was you.
Oh, no. Josh sent it.
Yeah, Josh sent
this the bottle.
Matter of fact, you know what? Since he's not going to be here, yo, Josh, you got to cash at me every week for a fucking bottle.
For a bottle, that's going to be his contribution.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you, sir.
If you're not going to be here contributing, he don't even give ideas anymore. Yeah. We're literally in the birthday party just sitting there talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
He'll throw in once in a while a new song. I don't want to hear songs, bro. I want your ideas for the show.
The birthday party is our group chat that Josh. What's crazy is that and we're gonna talk about the Pusha T album, but Josh sent the Pusha T album in the group chat, and then now every time I listen to the Pusha T album, it says sent by Josh Robles on the top.
I hate that shit.
Dogs, he didn't put me on. Josh, you didn't put me on to Pusha T. I don't want to think that. So every time I see it, it says listen to by Josh Robles, and then when you scroll down, you see him like this with his hands crossed, and he's looking directly at you.
By the way, I hate that feature, dude.
Cheers to Josh and that bullshit feature.
Thanks for putting us on, dickwad.
Oh my gosh. I also love whenever I decide to listen to Kanye, and he always says who your friends are listening to Kanye, and then when you scroll down, it's just a picture of Josh with his hands folded, and he's looking at you like, yeah, I know you fuck with Ye Cheddie. He's judging me,
You're still a fan.
Oh my god, so that's always good.
Actually, that was a cool plus about the Ye album, even though Kid Cudi came out reluctantly saying, "Oh, I didn't sanction this. We're no longer friends."
He's such a herb. Who says that?
We're not friends anymore.
He's like a scorned lover. Who says that?
That track was fire.
That track was dope.
Yeah.
That track was dope. But
how you feel about the album?
There's no need to even say that. Okay.
We'll get straight to music this week.
Yeah, we could because this album was sick. Diego, you could skip the first 10 minutes of this podcast when you listen to it.
Or 12.
Right away, he's skipping it.
Surgical Summer.
You know what sucks, and I need to get out of this this habit is whenever someone drops an album, I'm quick to compare it to what I just his last shit.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't do because it was years ago. And not only that, he's in a different state of mind, just different beats.
You can tell by the flow. That was one of the main things I noticed on this album.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So even the features, he had Uzi and stuff, the whole feature. What's crazy is that the whole song is on the middle of what I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The shit with him and Ye is fucking I had that shit on repeat all fucking weekend. You know what I mean? So
the shit with him and Malice, Joshy. That's why Joshy sent that song because he knows how. Yeah. Malice is my favorite Clips member. No offense, Pusha.
Somebody tweeted and said that how Malice had the best verse on a Pusha T album.
Yo,
because this shit was crazy.
Because he. Right. So I always talk about the transition people make when they first find Jesus, right? And I get it because I went through it. remember Jigs and them thought I was crazy. I did 4 years of celibacy.
Right,
and I was
right,
just
right.
like, I'm married to God.
You were Malice. You were Malice first.
I was Malice
That's
before
wild.
Malice.
That's wild. I didn't believe you with that shit for like the first like couple years I knew you, and then like only until you like got into depth,
Yeah.
I was like, nah, he really did do this. You know,
Once
what I mean?
you
And
start
more people-
realizing how psychotic I am with shit,
Right,
you're like,
right.
okay, it does make sense.
yeah,
that he
well,
would
not
do
only that, but people don't like own something like that. You know, you really own it, and I was like, nah, he's just doing it to like troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, like no, but he really did. So
But that's why it was so dope because.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Malice to me has always been my favorite Clips member. Obviously, Pusha I think has eclipsed him with
Yeah,
time.
of course.
Obviously, Clips.
with the body of work.
Yeah, it's just I always love to hear him. Even his Christian album was cool to me because it was a Christian album, but it wasn't right. Like it still had, but you're missing that drug dealer talk that comes from it.
Yeah.
It's what you expect.
Yeah.
And here it looked like he finally said, "Yo, you know what? I can talk about it and not have to cuss or not have to." And he
Well, Jay, like, it's
Yeah.
like Hove has mastered that where like he can talk about what he did without glorifying. Yo, I did this. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or I'm doing this, or I'm in the but he's done it without being tacky.
yeah.
So,
Well,
like,
when people got
Malice-
mad at him saying the
Right.
streets are dead, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
Hope said that, I think he has a point,
right,
right? And
because there's no morals, there's no right.
it wasn't. It's like he said, what was it? Who's still walking around? The guy that killed Trayvon Martin.
George Zimmerman.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
Streets
still
is
walking-
done. Yeah,
Streets
yeah,
is
yeah,
done.
Right.
And you see it now with fucking 6ix9ine doing all the silly shit that he's doing
Right,
and letting
right, yeah.
rock around. Like, New York is looking crazy right now.
Right.
Brooklyn is looking crazy right now. You know what I mean?
I will say one thing. If you look at those videos, though, he's looking like both sides like 10 times.
I told you the time he was with
He
those
was
thugs
there
in Flushing
quick,
Ave. They're
yeah, he was just there like quick, and I was just like,
like, yo, this
nah.
bread might not be worth it
Yeah,
right
these are
now.
off-duty like police officers and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't know about all that, man. I ain't gonna. I always tease Brooklyn because you're here, but I ain't gonna shit on Brooklyn in that sense because he was looking around like crazy, yo.
No, that,
He was looking
no
around like
offense. He was
crazy.
in Bushwick. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Y'all lost it a couple years ago. I'm not saying Bushwick don't got it, but it's a
Bushwick is
little
nice
different.
now. Bushwick is nice
Yeah,
now.
it's a little
Bushwick
different.
ain't the trenches anymore. Yeah.
It almost feels like I'm in Forest Hills when I'm in Brooklyn.
You got a favorite? You got a favorite track off the album?
My favorite is actually one that was already released. It was the one with
What, Neck and Wrist?
I love Neck and Wrist, but that Nego one, what's his name?
Oh, Hear Me Clearly.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hear Me Clear.
So Nego,
That's my favorite
so
track,
Nego
though.
makes beats now. Is that what it is?
That's what
Or
it
he
was. It had
produces?
to be because
Yeah,
he
because I
wasn't-
didn't hear him spit. Because apparently he has an album coming out too with a whole bunch of rappers on it. So I was like,
Alright.
okay, yeah, because they have
Producing.
stuff together. So okay, cool.
That was my
Yeah.
favorite track, and that's
Um,
since I heard that song, that's kind of what I didn't like about the album,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I like Pusha on certain beats, but when he changed the flow up to fit certain beats, it's not the Pusha that I want to hear.
Okay.
But I also, as an artist, understand when you're in a zone and you could expand and do it well, because he did it well. Is not what I wanted, right? So I gotta, like you said, I'm comparing to
Daytona.
Pusha of past,
Yeah.
right? Pusha before the dad.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to hear this and that, which I hear on Neck and Wrist,
Yeah.
which I hear on that song.
Yeah.
But when I hear the other like playful flows, like I don't want to know what the
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that Pusha.
You want the push on Diet Coke.
Yes.
The push on Diet Coke is like, that's just that shit, talking that shit.
Yeah, but even
yeah,
the Neck and
yeah,
Wrist Pusha
yeah.
did the new flow.
Yeah.
but it still felt Pusha.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the song with Uzi. I'm not a fan of. Right, like it didn't feel like a Pusha song.
Right.
There's another singy-songy one with Pharrell that was just like, I get it. And Pharrell has a way of convincing people to do songs they shouldn't do.
Right.
We
yes,
all know that.
Yes, yeah.
You know.
BBC.
Yeah, you talked about it before.
Right.
But nah, overall, he wasn't wrong when he said this might be the project of the year. I don't think it is, but I understand why he felt that way.
Right. Do you think it's as good as Daytona?
For me, no.
I think Daytona. You know what? I'm a little worried that like the hype of him, watching Drake in that battle, kind of made me like Daytona even more. But Kanye was just in his bag as far as with the beats and stuff.
I was
too.
gonna say right now, like
So it was just kind of like,
I'm worried on another front. I'm worried that we might not be used to big bodies of work anymore.
I don't know.
Our attention span
These
might have.
quick 10-track, yeah.
They make sense.
Yeah.
Right. Like even when I saw so many tracks, I knew in my heart of hearts there's gonna be some fillers here.
Right.
Right. When you see somebody come out with a 7, 8,
Yeah.
like Feels Retard, like 8 or 9 tracks.
Right.
You can, because as an artist,
Well, I mean, Illmatic was 10 joints.
Illmatic was 10.
And the Genesis was like, what? Track 1. So
yeah.
that was really only
it was
9
really
joints.
9 songs.
Right.
Right? And I don't want anybody to detract either and be like, well, that's why it was so great. No, it was great because if Nas would have done 13, 14 songs, they would have been fire at that time.
Yeah, it would have been good.
I just think our attention span at the moment is not for it.
Okay.
Hence why
CLB would have been a lot better if he cut some records out.
if he would have cut 6 or 7 of those tracks out and compressed
He would have had one.
yeah,
He would have had one.
he definitely would have.
Yeah.
Even Donda. Like, Donda has
Yeah, too many.
too many. Like,
Yeah.
there's 23 tracks.
Yeah.
Like, my mind is kind of like,
I think sometimes these guys are so good at what they do that they can't decide like what to cut. You know what I
100%.
mean? And like I understand where they're coming from and stuff. You know, like when Drake is such a great artist that like when he's in a certain pocket, he just kind of like when he released Scary Hour, I was like, all 3 of those joints are fucking fire. So my thing was like, well, damn, I would have kept all 3 of those shits on Certified Lover Boy, dropped the best 6 joints on Certified, but he would have had a classic album.
100%.
But then he did a couple of joints that you were just kind of like, no, like you did that.
Yeah. Well,
you did that to
yeah.
cater to an audience.
not to go back to myself, but to go back to myself, with Fjord's Retard, like Mommy and Heidi, a track that I dropped earlier, was supposed to be on that project.
Right.
And I've had 2 or 3 different people tell me
Clutch
like, yo,
wasn't on there either.
Clutch wasn't on there either. Like, why these songs aren't there? And don't get me wrong, I think they're great songs. It's just I needed the project to sound good. I didn't care that you weren't getting an extra amount of tracks.
Right.
And that's hard as an artist to really take out songs that you know are fire in your mind.
But you're trying to do a
Keep
project.
it concise.
Yeah.
So when you are at the level of a Pusha T, at the level of a Kanye, at the level of a Drake, you feel you can't do no wrong, right? And it's harder when people in your circle feel you can do no wrong either,
Right.
because they're not going to be able to tell you like,
No one's gonna tell. Yeah.
drop this,
Jay-Z.
drop that. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're gonna buy it anyway, bro. Just do
Yes,
it.
sir. Yeah. Yeah. It'll end up on TikTok. Somebody will like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Fire album. Is it Daytona? I don't know if it's gonna age like Daytona.
No.
Because after I listened to that album, I went to listen to Daytona afterwards, and then like.
But that's why I said when you were like, I don't know if I was just in my pocket because of the
because
Drake.
of
No,
the
you
Drake
weren't.
beef. Yeah.
It's
Nah,
that
it really
every
was.
song.
It really was. It really was bangers. Yeah, it was bang. You know what's crazy is that like when they did the tribute to Virgil at Louis Vuitton and they played Hell Hath No Fury, like the album. I went
That's
back and
another
like
one,
listened to that album and I was just like, holy shit. And then like because you talking about Malice, and I was just kind of like, yo, I think he was better than Pusha T, which is crazy because like now I'm thinking about.
I used to say that.
His verse on Grinding and his
Yeah.
verse on like I'm Not You, yo,
But
all them lost souls and I'm Dead Jesus, like.
Son.
That, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, so when it is the man.
The shit with Cameron
Someone will supply.
from Hell Hath No Fury?
Popeyes?
Popeye.
Yeah.
Malice's verse is stupid, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just thought about that, yeah.
Like, you know, and that's why I said, like,
Pusha T is more flamboyant.
yes.
Yeah, he has more charisma.
Pusha is, and he sounds more
Yeah.
in his pocket.
Yeah. He's in his pocket, and then, like, he has Hope's bravado.
Correct.
He has 2 Chainz has that same bravado, where you're just kind of like, yo, like, it might not be the best bar, but, like, yo, they just have the,
right,
you know,
bro.
yeah. Because, I'll be honest with you, Nas doesn't have that. He doesn't have that braggadocious, like, he's just more like, yo, I'm more conscious of who I am, of self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kendrick has that as well, but I think Kendrick sometimes, like, he'll show off his charismatic side at points, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're just kind of like, they just know they're nice, and that's
That's it.
enough for them.
But Nas is good because Nas also gives you complex rhyme patterns.
Okay.
Like, if you listen to Nas and the way he gets on a beat, it's why people, I think, used to struggle with thinking that he was offbeat. Because Nas is just, that's the thing you can never take away from him, man. Like,
Right.
I love that thing about him. It's bit him in the ass a couple times because, you know, Jay made him look like a fool because of the flow and whatnot.
Yeah, right.
Because you don't understand him. It don't mean that he's nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just don't understand the bullshit that he writes. Right. Yeah. I mean, I used to. Yeah, not to get back to
You used to use
Jay
it, I
and Nas. No, not to use it. I used to tell motherfuckers that like Nas. I used to just be like, yo, you guys don't understand anything he's fucking saying, dog. So like, what are you talking about? We're in high school. You know what I mean? Like, it goes back to like even like me liking Wu-Tang as a kid. I'm just like, I have no idea what these guys think they're talking about at Cuban Links. This shit just sounds fly, though. You know what I mean? But I have no idea what they're talking about. It's only until I got older when I heard about Jack Mack and Jasmine Rice. I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck that was. It sounded good, though, before, you know, so.
It's
It's one of those, yeah. But, dope album.
Let's keep on the music front and
Okay.
talk about. Well, first let's go with DaBaby because he seems to be
Well,
like.
you gotta fill me in on this because, like,
Yeah.
I know earlier in the year he beat up his baby mother's. We covered that on one of our
Yeah,
episodes.
he's just constantly in trouble.
So now Rolling Stone apparently leaked the video of him shooting somebody
Well,
at Walmart.
prior to that, you see a video of him trying to knock out one of his artists.
His particular artist.
His own artist from his label. They all sound like him. It's ridiculous. I got to show you. Did I ever show you the video? I showed Josh. He
It was like Nas trying to knock out Quan. Remember he's passing the
yeah,
baton
but
to Quan?
Quan didn't sound like Nas. Dude, they all have DaBaby's flow with different voice tones.
No way.
It's sick. There's a girl that sounds like DaBaby with a different voice tone.
What's the name of their crew? They have like a name of their crew yet?
Baby Crew? I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But they show that footage, and that's when he got again into the spotlight because they're questioning like, what's going on?
What's going on with this kid? Like, he's super talented, right?
Yes,
Like
I
he
feel
can,
so.
He can bar up. He can spit. Like
His
I heard him on
flow,
the
ridiculous.
on the Dreamville shit with Cole when they shot the video in the Bronx and shit like that. When the video's fucking dope because J. Cole went to St. John, so he knows a lot about the city. He's always in the city. And he takes him to a bodega and he tries a bacon and cheese for his first time. And DaBaby said, yeah, so it's like a dope concept of the video.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, yo, this is dope, a Southern dude, and he could spit. And then every time now I hear him, it's like, it's the first thing is the Coachella, well, not the Coachella thing, but the thing at the Rolling Loud,
Yes.
and like it's just
It's
everything that's coming back
controversy
at him is just-
all the fucking time.
But there's some rappers that need that. He don't need it though,
That's kind of my point.
because he's actually talented.
You have a following.
Yes,
You
Tekashi
actually-
needs that.
you got
know
your
what I'm
own-
saying?
yeah.
right, yeah.
Literally, that's what he needs.
Yeah.
Hence why he's doing I don't know if you've seen the thing he's doing with the fake Dirk.
Right. Well, no one's buying it anymore from him. That's what it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like once people start paying attention to him, that was it.
But DaBaby has a base. The
Yes.
baby could spit. The baby, I know a lot of people don't like his repetitive flow, but
Right.
it's different. It's his own.
Yeah.
Like you hear DaBaby, you're not confused as to who the fuck you're listening to.
He has 4 or 5 joints that you could play in a club or play at a party, and it's just gonna ring off. Like Suge, you play it anywhere, it's ringing off.
And he's
You know what I
fucking funny. His videos are funny.
mean? Yeah,
dog.
yeah, they're actually creative. They're
Yeah.
actually creative. Yeah. So
I just think he has like an ego issue. Like this don't really make sense.
I just don't want this to be. He's gonna learn. It's gonna be too late. Like his time is gonna pass. People are gonna get tired of his antics. They're not gonna put up with his shit.
Well, I think that's kind of what's happening though too,
Mm-hmm.
right? The fact that he's able to do this dumb shit and keep getting away with it.
Right.
Somewhere in his mind, I'm untouchable because of my fan base.
Okay.
But
They always gonna have my back.
yeah, but that time runs out.
Yeah.
We all know that time runs out.
Because they'll find a new DaBaby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole shit that happened then after that with Rolling Stone releasing the video footage, which I was showing you earlier.
Well, how do you feel about Rolling Stone getting involved?
I tell you, I think it's a racist thing. I think there's something behind it because
You
no
pull
one
the
had to
card?
see this video. The case has
No.
been closed forever and a day. It's nobody's business. And now you want to release this footage and release angles that show stuff that kind of leave it in a suspicious manner because I told you, I saw video footage.
Well, yeah, like the footage I saw was the initial fight, and like
Yeah.
you could see the guy who got shot like going for something. So I'm not too sure what he was going
Right.
for. But then you just see DaBaby like walking away from it all. So
Putting it away.
I mean, you could take it as like, yo, he pulled it out on them first, or you could take it as, yo, he defended himself and like everybody's taking care of them because nobody stepped to him after that.
No. But that's
You know what
kind
I'm
of his thing was self-defense, right? Because initially he was
That's how
fighting
he won the
somebody
case.
else.
Right. That's how
He was
case.
fighting someone else, and then you see, I think his cousin, I forgot what her name is. You see her coming because the other guy is there together. The guy looks like he's trying to break it up. Problem is, you see his hand here a couple of times.
Okay.
It definitely looks like he has something in there. And when he goes, the camera turns away at that point. Obviously, I mean, shots must be ringing because you see then people literally pushing their carts and running the fuck away.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens after that? You kind of
The lady dropping trick cereal was out. You know? Do that shit in here.
It's like fucking
Yeah,
what is it?
yeah.
Amir Khan's
Yeah,
wife.
Yo, son. Hold up. All right. We got to get into that because
Let's get into that,
Yeah, we
yeah.
got to get into that because
Baby, stop your shit. Stop trying to kill people.
yeah, man, you're too talented for that.
Yeah.
Amir Khan, another a talented boxer. So his wife is catching flack online and being trolled all over social media because they were out one night in the town in London and they were getting robbed. Like they left the restaurant and they got held up and she ran. So a lot of people were trolling her saying that how can you leave him like that? What if something happened and stuff? So I started taking like I did a deep dive pause into like just the whole story, and I started reading like the comments and stuff like that. And then I went into YouTube, and YouTube Hot 97 and 105 both spoke about it. So on 105, Angela Lee, she's the female host on Power 105. She said they asked her what she would have done, and she was like, nah, I would have stayed there with my significant other because if something happened, like I could see something, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. And she wasn't on some shit like, nah, I'm a ride or die, I'm gonna stay where. So they started like having people call in, and women and men were calling in, and some men were like, nah, if my wife's gonna run because we got kids at home. You know what I'm saying?
Has anybody seen Batman Begins?
So, yo, you sound like fucking Charlamagne, dog. Charlamagne said the same shit. Charlamagne, yo, that's how they got Batman.
Yo, I don't agree with Charlamagne most of the time.
But that's what he said, because he's a big superhero guy too. So that's what he said. Envy said the same thing too. Envy was like, nah, I want my wife to run. You know what I mean? He goes, I know my wife won't run. But he was like, I want my wife to run because, like, we got kids at home.
Why the fuck are we both going to die?
Right. So, Angela...
I wouldn't want my girl.
Yes, and then there was some ladies that called. I was just like, nah, if my man, something happens to my man, I'm staying with him. You know what I mean? And then, they were like, well, what's going to happen to your kids? And he was like, well, we're going to have a story to tell. And she was just like, no, you're not going to have a story to tell. You'll be dead. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So, and so she Amir Khan's wife responded saying, Amir is okay with me running. He was like, she goes, I wasn't running to leave him. I was running to get help. You know what I mean?
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so I didn't think about that either. Because, it's funny, and it just sucks because how society, as we think as people, is like, the first thing I was like, damn, man, I hope my girl don't run with me like that. You know what I mean? But then I thought about it, I was like, nah, I would want her to run because, like, oh, nothing that happened to her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's my first thought was automatically, like, what is she supposed to do?
Yeah, no.
Like, is my girl gonna get in front of the bullet for me? Like,
it was one dude that called, and he was like, he's like, yeah, I was with this shorty one time, and and I got held up, and she ran, but then she came back, and she was like giggling. So this niggas was like, nah, you got set up, dog. And then Charlamagne was like, nah, there's some people that have like, when they get nervous or something traumatic happens to them, they laugh. So I was like
that when my mom used to fuck me up as a kid.
Well, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah. So and then they thinking like she probably
I used
thinking
to
like,
laugh and get fucked up harder.
You think it's funny, and you're getting hit more, right?
Yes.
So who had that fucking disorder? Fucking Joker, nigga. Remember, shit was happening to him. He just started laughing for no reason.
By the way, Joaquin Phoenix, man, great actor, bro.
I couldn't remember what Joker's real name was. Not Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent is Two-Face.
No, Joker's real name is I don't remember Joker's real name.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, no, because because he was a regular clown before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so in the actual Joker movie, but I forgot what his name was. So, anyways,
I don't know. Yeah, listen, man.
No.
Realistically, like, I get the ride or die thing. Yeah. It's cool. You guys been fed that.
They have children though.
Yeah. And no, even if we didn't have children, like, what is a woman supposed to do? No offense. I know y'all think you're powerful. You're not. Like, there's nothing you could do at that moment unless you're like a judo.
What happens if they kidnap her and like rape her? I watch a lot of Game of Thrones, though.
Is it true? They shoot my two knees out and shit, and then they rape her in front of me. I'm just there like, like, I don't want to see that shit, bro.
Mad graphic, yo, but yeah.
But shit happens.
No, you're right.
Game of Thrones is vicious.
But they were killing her. The first thing, like, I was looking at reading the comments, and they were just like, she's Flojo, she's Jackie Joyner Kersey. They were just calling her every female runner that's ever been in the Olympics.
I'm sure Meg The Stallion wish she could do the same. This nigga had her dancing around bullets.
No, he really told her, bitch, dance. You saw the Gail King interview?
Yeah, I saw the Gail King interview.
First of all, before we get into this topic, right?
Yeah.
How does Gail King get these interviews, yo?
Especially hip hop.
She had the R. Kelly one. I don't even think her and Oprah even care about the culture.
Oprah, bro. Oprah got the culture connection.
Mm-hmm.
You sit with Gail King, you got O's network, the O network behind.
But this thing with Megan happened like 2 years ago.
No, I don't know. That's another thing people are questioning. Like, yo, but why is this coming up now? Like, it already happened. But I think
because the court case coming up,
the case has come up, and certain things that they weren't able to speak about before have already been talked about and confessed.
But then, how can you pick a jury and the jury say you have to be biased and not read into the case? But there's so much footage.
I don't know.
When I go home, I'm gonna look up the case. You know what I'm saying? Mm. I think there's a trial right now that there's a mistrial happening because one of the jurors went home and actually I forgot what case it was, and they actually went home. They said no one go home and look at
I just find that crazy, Cheddie. Like, think about
you're
it.
human.
Yeah, we're in a fucking generation where you got
So
your
I can't
phone
go on
your
IG.
hip.
Like, say you're doing the Colin Kaepernick case or something, right? And you're actually a sports fan, and or maybe they wouldn't pick it because you are a sports fan. But like, you go on Instagram, they're gonna say, Colin, this happened. Like, you're gonna research it. You're human. You know what I mean? You're gonna see.
I'm gonna tell you no.
Yeah.
But you better believe I'm gonna be like, well, what this bitch really did? Hold on.
But I guess now they could like search your IP and stuff like that or whatever, right?
Y'all need VPNs, man.
Yeah. Because like that's how the guy got kicked off. Remember, this is I'm dating myself, but kicked off the OJ case because like he started writing a book, and it was like, yo, what are you doing, dog? And he got kicked off for the case. But yeah. So
this honestly,
yeah. You think Megan's trying to get to that next level of stardom?
I don't
she's gonna
know.
get the sympathy votes.
I know a lot of people wanted to beat on her, bring her down, like all this stuff. Like the crying was horrible. It was kind of fake. Let's be honest. Yeah. But she's kind of manly, so it's hard for a man to cry.
When she's talking about getting smashed.
Yeah.
Tory's kind of small though, dog. Like,
come on, bro.
Like, she definitely picked him up or something. That's such a weird like combination.
When she was like, and it made sense because I was like, how's he? She said he was like over the car, like doing like this, like, and I can see little niggas got Napoleon. I have a Napoleon complex. We all do.
But yeah, he was on fire back then. I remember he was doing that. What's that thing? Radio? What was that called?
The naked radio shit.
Yeah, fucking Demon
Quarantine
Time and all
radio?
that shit. Quarantine radio.
Demon Time.
Yeah, Quarantine radio. He had
shit.
Demon Time and all that shit. Yo, yeah. He had the pandemic popping.
Nah, dog. That was just like a real lapse. Like, honestly, a real lapse. And honestly, before I was able to kind of like forget it, once I saw her really talking about it and that bitch dance shit, like, he's just such a fucking sucker, dude.
Yeah.
Such a sucker. Yeah. Like, you are a fucking loser. Like, beyond belief. Like, I don't know how drunk you could be or what's going on, but
the girl said she gets has bullet fragments in her feet.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Like,
that's wild.
I don't know what his defense could be on that point.
Yeah. And how the Kardashians got out of this shit, I don't know. Because like it happened on their property. They were saying like one of them could have been there. Yo, they're Teflon. They're Teflon.
I know how they got out of it.
Yeah. It's Teflon. Ain't nobody fucking with them.
I'm not going to talk about their demon connections.
Oh, gosh.
But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy realist.
Really?
Right? And we all know how that goes.
Right.
But the interview, honestly, 50 made a funny point when they're like, she said, you have sexual relations or whatever, and she kind of stalled.
She giggled at first. I was like, what do you mean? Like I'm like,
what do you fucking mean?
I'm like, lady, are you stupid? Like you don't know what that means? You know what I mean? Yeah. So
she should have been prepared for that.
Right. Of course, 100%. So when she stumbled, it's just kind of like, all right, whatever. Like maybe they did have a thing, like had a fling or whatever the case may be.
They definitely did. Because I remember, damn, this is sad that I actually watched these videos. But I'm a Tory Lanez fan. And I remember in his live, and he was connected to her live, and they were at a pool, and they're taking videos and shit, and he's like all in her ear.
That was the pool party. That's the night that happened, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I actually saw it live.
Yeah, because the Kardashian girl was with her. Kylie was with her or whatever, or Kendall. The Travis Scott one, the one who's married to Travis Scott.
Okay.
She was with them. You know what I mean? Like, and in the pool, and I remember that. Like that happened like that day, and everybody was like, because it was like in the heart of this shit was like in the heart of pandemic. Like it was like when people weren't really supposed to be around each other. And
you're right.
Then it happened. It was curfews. There was curfews. That's why like everything like popped off because they weren't supposed to be out on the road. So
you a straight sucker, dog. I love your music. Josh, he hates your music.
Tory.
He can spit.
Tory's dope, but
that's some
it's
sucker
definitely
shit.
it's definitely an L, man. And hopefully he's definitely gonna see jail time over this shit. No.
Yeah. I think he's facing 22 years.
22 years?
20.
Hold on, but she's not charging him, though. Because they asked her, like, why'd you lie? And she was just like, you know what she said? She said, like, I didn't want us to get killed.
Yeah.
She said that the police came there. She was like, yo, she just had a gut feeling that, like, and I've been there when you're, like, in a situation where you're just kind of like, yo, something good is not going to happen right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just kind of, like, do whatever you have to do in order to get out of it. And that's what she did, right?
Yeah, she comes from, like, a real background. Like, real, like, street niggas type shit.
Like hood, like don't snitch. And all that. Yeah, that's true.
Right, and at that point, I'm sure when it did happen, maybe her feet were like hot and flaming from like the fragments.
But does.
Like you feel the pain, but you're kind of like, maybe this didn't happen. You're shocked. Think about it.
She was Harlem shaking. Son.
You're in shock, dude. It's like, nah, this little nigga did not just shoot at my feet. this did not just happen right now. Like, nah, there's no way. Nah, we good, officer.
I just
know.
got bullet fragments in my fucking my feet. And it all started over because she said it all started over her being like, "Yo, I'm ready to go home," and he was like, "No, I'm not ready to go home."
Again,
that's wild.
I think something else happened. I think as much as she tried to play,
think it was a lover's quarrel.
Yeah, I think she probably embarrassed him in a way or some shit. Maybe he tried to like kiss her in the pool or
she
something.
She was like, "Get on the ladder to kiss me" or something like that.
Yeah, she was like,
"She's tall,
little boy." Hell yeah, she's tall. She's like 5'10" and he's like 5'4".
Right. Stupid.
I don't know how niggas like that would ever get with a
You remember when he was doing an interview and he stood up and they were like, "Yo, he's sitting down."
Yo, he did like he was sitting down, dude. I remember Sway's like right here.
Yeah, and he
gets up and he's like still the same spot.
He's still the same size as him sitting down on his booster chair.
By the way, he's the reason you don't go to Turkey too early and get your hair done. He's literally got his hairline to here now, and now everything is balding back here. I don't know if you've seen him lately. So that's why I'm waiting till 40.
Shit.
For those questioning when I'm getting my hair done in
about
Turkey.
To get the Roger Mayweather.
Yo, man.
the Floyd Mayweather.
The fucking dreads.
Yeah, yo, he looks like fucking Predator. Oh, shit.
Man.
Speaking of fucked up hairlines, Stephen A. Yo, Jamie Foxx hairline's not real either, right?
Nah, it is.
That shit is fake, right?
He's had that shit forever.
Nah, man.
Jamie Foxx never had a receding hairline that I know of.
Remember
when he was like Electro and shit like that.
I gotta look that up. He was Electro like 2 years ago. I'm talking about the Jamie Foxx show.
No, he was Electro in freaking 2014.
Really?
Originally, yeah. You didn't see the original one?
Time is flying.
I gotta connect my Movies Anywhere app to your TV so you can watch it. I got all the Spider-Man films.
Yo, don't be saying we don't have any of that stuff. It should go on YouTube. They got out of it. You're not connected to this shit. We got the hot box.
It's legit. I've actually paid for these things.
We got the hot box.
Actually, I took like pandemic money and bought all those DVDs, those Blu-rays. I was like, this is a good investment. I need every Spider-Man flick.
They're coming back. They're coming back. When you guys can't get them, who are you gonna come to?
Nah, but
oh man,
the whole what was it that happened with Fox and because I know the after effect, but I don't know why they kept on attacking Ben Simmons.
So the Brooklyn Nets, they pretty much wet the bed. They, Kevin Durant.
They got swept.
They got swept by the Boston Celtics. It sucked to be like semi happy that they lost because I was trolling them all night because for different reasons.
No,
all related to LeBron.
Yeah,
but it was one of those things where it was just kind of like I felt like the Nets tried to cheat the process. It's like you have to have time in with the person with the teammate that you're playing with. You know what I mean? And Kyrie with the vaccine, and then James Harden getting traded and stuff. And
I stand with Kyrie on that. That's something I think you got to give him some credit, bro. Because when everybody else is
no one is saying Kyrie is wrong.
Mamba gave me the shit like, he's gonna fold.
Yeah, no one is saying he didn't fold, and no one is saying that Kyrie is not wrong. My only issue with Kyrie is that I respected what he did and like his stance and why he said he did it.
1,000%.
When they had the riots in January 6th,
yeah,
he said that he was traumatized by it and didn't want to play.
Right.
When short, like
nigga, I was traumatized.
Yo, son,
I didn't want to go anywhere in public anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't go to work the other day when they shot up the train in Brooklyn. And I'm still taking the train to the, to this day. You know what I mean? Yo, but at the same time, but the next week I'm right back on the train going to get the bread. You know what I mean? So it's like they don't give a fuck. So anyway, so he has a track record of looking for excuses not to play.
Yeah.
So he's
an artist, and
Ben Simmons, they're easy targets. You know what I mean? And Kevin Durant kind of gets caught in the middle because KD decided to leave. People don't respect the fact that he went to the Warriors and they're still hung up on that and whatever the case may be. But I'm not gonna get on KD. Just want to stick to Ben.
People gotta chill, bro. He went and got his rings. Don't
we're
gonna
stick to the Ben Simmons.
Yeah, let's go on Ben Simmons.
It's just kind of
light skinned, so it's funny.
It's funny. It's just that. All right, so people were getting on Ben Simmons because he was saying he wasn't able to play because of his back, right? And then
this is the NBA, by the way.
Where the Nets went wrong is the Nets said that he's going to be available for Game 4. So people were kind of like, well, why would you make him available for Game 4 if you guys go down 3-0? Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, you might as well just make him available for Game 3. It's like his back's going to feel better from Sunday or Saturday to Monday. That's what people are saying. So
how long is his contract?
Okay. So Ben Simmons hasn't played a game all year, right? Like he used to play with Philadelphia. They had a falling out. You know, Doc Rivers said out in an interview saying that I don't know if we can win with this point guard. They tried to fix it, they couldn't fix it, and then James Harden wasn't happy here, so that's why he got traded to the Nets. He's due $50 million next year. So it's like they picked that up, and I think he has like something in his contract where like he has to get it if he decides to like opt in or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it doesn't help the fact that he shows up to the games, and I guess like people are. I'm not affected by this, but people are judging him for like what he's wearing. He's wearing like these flashy outfits and stuff. But I'm like, yo, that's just how he dresses. Like,
got bread,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
like that has nothing to do with anything. So I agree with him there.
What are you supposed to do? Show up in uniform?
But then if he doesn't sit on the sidelines, they're gonna be like he's not a team player. So you can't win, right?
Right.
But it's one of those things where I don't think the Nets did him justice by saying, yo, he's gonna be ready to play. I don't think mentally he's ready to play.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So
why would you want him on the court if he
But the
hasn't played
thing
all
is,
year?
though, and he did say that he had like some some stuff mentally, I guess not say traumatizing, but like stuff that happened in Philadelphia. Like you could tell, like when he was in Philly in the playoffs, he had an open layup like underneath the basket and he passed it to somebody. So they were saying like he needs to go see a sports psychologist. Like there's
Ricky Williams.
People are really taking, but we've been early with saying this like. People are taking mental health and making it excuses, though.
Right.
And sometimes he looks like that as well. Because the other day he was in practice and he dunked, and then he pointed to the camera and goes, you got that on film? So people are like, are you trolling now? So here's my thing, right?
Cheddie hates people using mental health as an excuse.
You know why? Because, and it's not right. It's not right the way I'm sure maybe you were raised this way. But I was raised the way I was just like, yo, no, I don't care if you have feelings. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go to school.
I always say that
go
about
do your homework.
Our uncles and our fathers. And shit like
Which is not right. It's not right. But I don't know if it built us tougher.
It's also not right to be like everything that affects you matters. Mm-hmm. Because if we live life like that,
you're never going to be able to deal with any type of
ever, bro.
Right. No.
Ever.
No. And then I feel like, so you can't do that, but that is, all right, for instance, you know what I equate that to? If you're a person who likes to crack jokes, but then when jokes get cracked on you, you say no, but you're bullying me now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not right. That's why we going back to Will Smith and Chris Rock. I'm like, yo, if you ever watch Fresh Prince, they used to roast and toast people just automatically.
Yeah.
They would say, oh, you big, you fat, like so and so. You know what I mean? But that was a part of the show that made the show funny. So it's one. Wait, you don't think those people had feelings when they watched the show or they heard?
I used to watch the show and feel insecure.
You see what I'm saying? So, but it's one of those things like, yo, it can't be any time that you could use that as like a cop out. And Ben came off.
It's hypocritical.
Like he was coming off like using it as a cop out. You know what I'm saying? Do I think he should if it's just because he says he's depressed, he should just lock himself in a closet and not, But then my thing is though is that you can't, and this goes for Kyrie too. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm only available when I need to be available, whatever, or when I want to be available.
But it's convenient.
But then you want your bread, too.
Yeah.
They're not saying, like, all right, you know what, keep the bread. No, but then that's dumb on the organization's part. They shouldn't assign these guys with these deals. They should be like, yo, no, if you play, you get paid. You know what I mean? If you're legitimately hurt.
Well, I can see the other side of that, though, right? Because a lot of people will hit you with but Jay-Z, I'm making niggas pay for what they did to the Cold Crush.
Right. So for guys in the past.
But it's not a problem when the organizations do this and that. Yeah. And I get that side as well.
I do.
But
I do.
I'm also, no, bro. Like, this.
I'm all about players like moving around and doing whatever they want and just building their own brands and all that. I'm all for that.
I would give the world to be able to play my favorite sport on earth and get paid that kind of money.
But the thing is, though, is that you do have an obligation to the people that are paying, the paying customer. So if
you heard Kobe's wife?
I'm a season ticket.
The reason why he used to work so hard because he remember no matter what he's in the nosebleeds.
He said, I don't know who that guy brought his son here and spent his last bread to because he would tell yo, I'm in fucking pain. And he would just be like, yo, now I got to play tonight because I don't know who's
here. He used to be in the nosebleeds watching Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? Like he's like, yo, the man never quit. I never stop.
Right.
And that's a work ethic thing. Like, as much as people want to call LeBron a crybaby sometimes and say whatever they want, the motherfucker's there to put on his show whenever it's showtime.
Yeah. Because if he comes to the Garden, he's showing out, he's putting on.
My family eats because of you people in the seats.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm still, again.
I tell people that about The Rock. People start calling The Rock like corny, and I'm just kind of like, yo, you know what he's doing? His brand is the people. You understand what I'm saying? It's the people liking him. You know what I mean? He can do a shit movie and it won't matter.
Still gonna sell.
You understand? So it's like you're never gonna be able to satisfy everybody because then you could be like a shut-in and not be accessible, and then people will be like, oh, he's a dick.
100%.
So it's what. So like, and I get where Ben is. I get where Ben Simmons is coming from. I was actually at a Nets game, and there was a kid behind me, and he was yelling at the top of his lungs, Ben, and I was like, yo, I don't want to hear this all game. Like this is crazy. Ben Simmons looked up at him, and goes, I got you. And when the halftime came, he walked by, and the kid was like, Ben. And he looked over at the kid, but he just kept it moving. So I was like, oh, shit. Kind of shitted on this kid. He came back out early when the guys were shooting around, and he walked over, and he signed the kid's thing.
Fire.
I said, yo, thank you, man. He was yelling in my ear the whole time. And he laughed, and he walked away. He just chuckled, and he walked away. So I was saying that, like, they're in the business of not only playing ball and winning games, but they're in the business of actually engaging with people. You understand what I'm saying? And you can't be that way. You can't and yo, like I get it. Like when these fans talk crazy to these guys and stuff, like there's certain stuff that
No, that's just
as humans you shouldn't be speaking to each other like that.
100%.
You know what I mean? They're not animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. You know,
Especially in Boston.
oh yeah, it's a nightmare there. So just kind of just bringing it back to the whole Jamie Foxx and Stephen A. thing. So Stephen A. was saying that what Ben Simmons did is a disgrace. It's embarrassing. All this other stuff. Right? He's going on and on. Jamie Foxx came and brought it back and goes, Stephen A., like, he has a family. The stuff that you're saying is like, it's kind of like out of bounds. It's too much. You know what I mean? Do you have this same smoke for Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady? So he said NFL players. He didn't say what he really wanted to say was white people.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Because what white basketball player are you going to point out?
Do you have the same smoke with Dirk Nowitzki?
Yeah, like, the times are over.
Right. So it's one of those, like, so I think that's what Jamie Foxx wanted to say. Before we shot the show, I actually listened to Stephen A.'s rebuttal because Stephen A. said that him and Jamie Foxx, they're actually real friends and they actually spoke about this. But I still wanted us to discuss it because I'm going to say one side for Stephen A. and you tell me the Jamie Foxx side because I know you were saying that Stephen A. So for the Stephen A. side, he's a reporter. He's telling you what he's seeing, right? And I agreed with a lot what he said about Ben Simmons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it goes back to
Stephen A. is also Queens native.
Right. It
New
goes
York.
back to it can't always be like once these guys like it's like one of those things like when you criticize like, yo, this guy, he's playing like dog shit. And then somebody will say, well, yo, he does stuff for his community, so he's a good guy.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like,
this
no,
is a sport,
that's
bro.
not what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that would happen to Stephen A. when he criticized LeBron a lot. A lot of LeBron fans would go and say, yo, and this is not something that I would do per se because this has nothing to do with, I would disagree with Stephen A. on the sense of like, nah, I see differently. He's actually doing this correct. But him building a school and stuff like that has nothing to do with the fact of if he loses to this team and doesn't play well.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with
Still got a
anything.
legacy, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's off the court. You understand what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where like people will, and then so now Stephen A. what he would do is before he criticized LeBron, he had like a whole year he was doing this. He's a philanthropist. He does this and this, but he didn't. And I would laugh. I would be like, yo, that is kind of funny. You know what I mean? I still do feel like he
because of Skip. It's because
he has smoke towards LeBron because LeBron won't grant him an interview or whatever, right? But LeBron's interviews are very. Bron. But his interviews are very controlled. So he's like, yo, you got to ask me what I want to be asked. And so he's not going to step in the fire. So anyway, so that's my Stephen A's stance. Where Stephen A. Do I feel like he calls it like he sees it? Yes. Does he have favorites? Yes. And he admits that he has favorites though, because the AI was his favorite. AI was his boy.
But
so
he's a human being, right? So he's gonna have favorites.
Yo, you're gonna have players that you like, or even boys in the industry, right?
I'm with Jamie on that though.
Okay.
Right, because I understand why you would never pick on a Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Tom Brady. I hope he fucking breaks every bone in his body when he comes back. I despise him and his kids and his wife and everybody that's ever related to him, right? But you can't talk shit about Tom Brady. It's impossible.
No.
Not because the man is great, but because the man is there.
He shows up for his team.
Like, no matter what the fuck.
His best ability is availability.
But you can shit on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But you won't. Because I believe what Jamie Foxx is saying is, bro, you have a little bit of slight favoritism towards the men of the shade that pay your checks. right? Like there's a part of Stephen A. that almost looks, and I've always felt this.
Yeah.
Like he attacks our own way more than he would them.
Okay.
Right, and it can be seen as like I said,
because Stephen A's one thing that he says, he's like, yo, my main objective, like I only start criticizing guys after they get paid because I don't want to fuck up their money. So I respected that when he said that. He was like, but where he's coming at Ben is like, yo, Ben, you're getting paid all this bread. Kyrie, you're getting paid all this bread, and you're not making a sacrifice.
Well, that's what I think he's right.
Yeah.
I think he is right in that sense. But I also, like I said, I see the side where Jamie's kind of like, bro, don't be on that time just for our people.
Be consistent.
Yeah. Like, be on that time with everybody that does this kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks a little bit too often like you only do it with people of a brown, beige, black complexion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gotta be like if Jamie Foxx to check him, there had to be something.
That's his man's, right?
Yeah.
So he's been watching it.
Yeah. It had to be something like, and maybe Stephen A. don't even notice that he's doing it.
Of course not.
It's just natural to him now.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's done in a malicious way, right? Do I see Stephen A. as somebody that protects his pockets? Yes, 100%.
100%, yeah.
I've heard him say things about his come up and whatnot and what he's able to do for his mom, and I get it, right? So to have that, to come where he came from, right, not having shit, and in this world make the name that he's made for himself, the fear of losing that is big.
But he wakes up with it all the time.
Yeah, it's fucking big.
We do live in a society where if he says one wrong thing, he can get canceled, and
no one think twice.
Taken away.
It's not like Skip.
Yeah,
Skip can say what the fuck he wants. He ain't going nowhere.
it's a white devil.
I didn't say it, but
I don't know, man. I don't know how Skip gets away with anything he wants
gets
to say.
away with whatever the fuck he wants to say. But that's one thing I give to Shannon, man. Shannon Sharp don't give a fuck.
Yeah. He's really your drunk uncle.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no like.
Yeah.
Go ahead, fire me. What the fuck do I care? I have fun doing this shit.
Charles Barkley's the same way.
Charles Barkley's funny, man.
Yeah.
You know, all the gay comments he makes and shit.
Yeah,
and Shaq just be laughing.
Well, so Charles.
No offense, gays.
Charles actually said that like there's a rumor that he's thinking about leaving because he says he's too constrained. You know, what I mean, he's going to Barstool, which I don't really like hearing.
They're holding him back.
But like he said, yeah, I know. He said it's stuff that he wants to say that he can't say. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, and he's also that he's getting older. So like, they have him working like 6 nights a week and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
All these guys need to take their ass to Twitter.
Yeah.
Because now Twitter's becoming that free platform.
And it sucks because if Charles Barkley, he's not a social media guy. If he had a Twitter, it would be gold.
100%.
It'd be gold.
People like him don't even have to tweet their own shit.
No.
Realistic. You have your teammate.
Yeah.
I feel like this.
Yeah.
Say this real quick.
Text one of his boys, be like, yo, I was thinking about this. And just say it the way I wanted to say it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's that, so let's talk about that because I don't know if people know about that, but Elon Musk is on the route to purchasing Twitter, right? Yeah. And his goal behind it, I think it was
it's in the final stages, right?
Final stages. The show right now. $44 billion, right? And he his shit was like, yo, this thing they did, whether you like it or not, with Donald Trump censoring him, with Kanye censoring him, like all this, he's like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, this is America. This is an open platform. The guy's from South Africa. He's not even from America, but he loves America because of what we represent. Yeah. We represent freedom, so to speak, freedom of speech especially. Yeah. So now, because certain people feel a certain way, they're quieting people.
I'm not gonna sound like I don't like Donald Trump, so I'm not gonna be.
No, fuck that.
But it's one of those things that like I think after January 6th, like that needed to happen because the stuff that he was saying incited some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But shutting off Kanye doesn't because he's bullying Kim Kardashian. Like how many other people get fucking bullied? You know what I mean? Why?
But this is America.
Yeah. So
the problem with that is that whether we agree with it or not.
And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying So.
I'm not with the fucking inciting people, especially racial
100%,
hate.
100%.
Get the fuck like
then they should shut off PlayStation communication because if you ever hear some of the shit that these kids say to each other,
dog,
it's insane.
It's nuts. Now you got it, but that's the thing, right? Because then you'd have to censor everybody. Now you have to police the world. Right. And the reason we have freedom of speech and these amendments is because of that. Because you cannot police the world.
Right.
This America is a very different ball game. So I personally, do I think $44 billion for a talking app is a good thing when people are starving? Like, how much do you have to pay for somebody to just give us the fucking HIV cure?
But that's something.
Like, how much money is it putting in people's pockets that $44 billion wouldn't be able to do that?
Yeah.
right? That's why I start questioning shit like that.
Yeah, but not, you know what? That shit
And I'm a capitalist.
that can solve the hunger in the United States.
That could solve so much.
You know what I
If
mean?
we had hunger, that shit could end a lot of shit. And again, I'm a stone cold capitalist.
Right.
Any way you make it, you spend it. That's your business.
Right.
But when I see shit like
But
this,
that's a part of his legacy, though. That he'll look back. You know, it's
it
like,
is.
It's what he's.
and the guy,
leaving
I love
forward,
the guy.
so, like, you know,
like
leaving
I
forward
love
to
this
what he's
war.
did. Yeah.
I love the Elon versus Zuckerberg versus Bezos. Like
Get into the bag.
I love that shit because their shit is winning and all that stuff, right? Like he made a good joke today where he's like, "I'm gonna buy Facebook and delete it."
Just delete it.
Yeah, like to fuck with Zucks. Like,
So do you think with this purchase of Twitter, there has to be like an addendum saying like, you can't stop Twitter, right?
well, it's becoming a private company now, right?
Okay.
So if it's a privately owned company, that's it. No one can say shit. Like it's free reign, and he said it. He's like, "Listen, I don't."
No, I don't want it to be like up to him to be like, I want to stop.
No,
Twitter.
that's what he said. That's not what he's doing.
Okay.
He's like, I want the detractors, the people that come at me, to have the ability to do what they do.
Right.
He's like, I love this shit. I live for this shit. It fuels me. It makes me do what I do. Right? So he doesn't like that. It's not like he's taking it over like, I'm the king of Twitter. It's over. Like, you can't talk shit about me. His shit is like, no censorship.
Right.
This is an international platform. Like, there shouldn't be anybody stopped from saying, if you want to talk shit about Putin and you live in Russia, you should be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anything restricting you and stuff like that. He goes, that's what makes... Again, I see also the personal vendetta shit behind it because he says stuff like, that's what makes Facebook corny.
Yeah.
Right? Like he taking his little shots in there.
Yeah,
like,
of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he's the new competition on the block now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think
I wonder what because I mean Twitter is pretty much you can update your status, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what the next move that he's gonna make in order to make Twitter like because I thought Twitter was gonna go away, and we spoke about that.
Yes.
We both thought that Twitter was gonna go away eventually.
Twitter was
just
dying.
like Vine. We thought like Vine went away because Instagram killed Vine. I don't even know if anybody still Snapchats anymore and stuff. You know what I mean? Unless you fucking do some side.
Only prostitutes.
Unless you do a sideways.
And I follow them all.
So I don't know. Like I don't. I think Twitter just like there's too much information, and it's like the fastest way to get like
Twitter's amazing.
I've searched in Twitter F train delay, and someone will literally 2 minutes before be like, "Yo, the F train's not running the canal.
Cheddie,
Go somewhere else."
that's how I knew about alternate side parking.
Wow.
There's a Twitter account called NY.
Yes, I follow. I follow the one. Yeah, I follow when I was driving. Yeah,
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I knew about
And
it.
they're more current than the actual. If you go to like the city website.
Well, that was
they don't have shit.
That was the basis behind Twitter at first, right? It was giving people, like I remember being on a plane with Buddha, 2008. We were headed to DR.
Shout out to Buddha.
Yep, it was June 2008. We're on a plane, and he's tweeting, and I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he's like, "You don't got Twitter? This is the shit right here. You just say what you want, and people follow." I'm like, "Who the fuck wants to hear what you got to say, bro? That shit is corny." That's why I got off of Facebook.
Yeah.
He's like, "Stupid. Watch, get on it." I joined thanks to Buddha, and I became a fiend. I'm trying to go to my account just so you can see how nuts.
You have more
Where is
tweets than Josh.
I beat
F
Josh
the product
by,
Twitter on Instagram.
I killed Josh, man.
I was thinking about tweeting, but then I wanted to say this, and I'm just like, you should have let that off.
Nah, man. But, yo, I think it's a great move. I'm happy about it. Like, I got over 14,000 tweets. I used to be heavy on this shit.
Wow.
This used to be my shit.
Wow.
And I left it when Instagram and all that stuff
I
started
think you would be
making
a good
moves.
follow. I think Edgar would be a good follow.
I used to
I
be.
think Ali would be a good follow. Imagine Ali on
Hell yeah.
in broken English. That'd be amazing.
I love when he does typos, but I stay quiet.
Incoherent thoughts. That'd be great. Shout out to Ali, man.
Yo, why they make the big IPA this tough? Like, you got to do more push-ups. And it's like, what the fuck did this guy just talk about, bro?
TUFF. Tough. Tough.
I listen, man. I love that. I like the idea of
free
like
speech.
we just said, yeah, of having like a person like, yo, because you know Twitter has the option now. Twitter started, they took the Clubhouse idea.
Yeah, I know.
They have their own rooms and shit like that.
Yeah.
Twitter does there's so much that Twitter can do, and with a person like Elon Musk behind it,
Yeah.
it's about to get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're gonna. I'm wondering if are they gonna have a feed where people like can post. I mean, well, you can still post pictures now, but like a more interactive where you can. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, I mean, I guess you could do that right now. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know where it's going.
It's interesting.
But
yeah,
if
it's above my head.
if your man's putting $44 billion into it,
he had something planned.
He has a plan.
Yeah,
It's more than just freedom of speech.
Nobody just drops $44 billion to
for freedom of speech.
It might be a actual media, like actual, you know what I mean, like people actually reporting.
Well, even Donald Trump said. Donald Trump was like, "Yo, just because he's doing this, don't think I'm coming back to Twitter." Because Donald Trump has his own app. I'm not even gonna mention it.
Yeah.
But he has his own thing going on. Mm-hmm. But even in that, I'm like, "Yo, Elon is so genius because now
he's gonna have to come back if he runs again."
Well, he actually one tweet he made, which a bunch of crypto people will probably love, is he's like, "How I'm gonna fix Twitter? 3 letters, XRP."
Oh shit!
So I don't know how he's gonna be tying the blockchain and crypto into Twitter, but it's about to get interesting.
Right.
Like I'm so excited. I'm amped. I love this nerd shit.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
It is.
That's
so
dope.
who knows where he's headed with that, man?
Josh, we need you to tweet now that Elon.
Come on, man. Josh is a big Elon guy.
Yeah, we need Josh.
Josh
to
is all about the environment, electricity, women rights, all that extra shit. Get back on it. The world's waiting for you. Emma needs you, bro.
They go from he's all about the environment, saving shit, women's rights.
Anything I don't like, Josh is about.
Oh, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us this week.
Episode 98, man. We're getting there. We're getting to 100.
I see you, bitch-ass bitches.
Wow, man. We're getting to 100. 100 is going to be a dope episode. We're going to have a lot of your former guests and I say former castmates. It's a lot of
listen, our cast never changes. Yes, the cast is the cast. Whoever wants to show up can show up.
But we're gonna
the guests are the guests. They can show up whenever they want. Which actually, after episode 100, being that we're slowly transitioning from getting away from Josh, we're gonna start.
We're finding Josh's replacement. That's what we're about to do right now. We're about to go interview Josh's replacement.
We're about to bring up a lot of old guests, but as themselves, right?
Yes.
No longer just as an interview prospect.
Right.
Because you guys don't really see the cool side of a lot of them, and we want to showcase that. That's one thing Cheddie's been heavy on, showing the cool side of people, that the real side. Not that they're not cool in their show and their episodes.
A lot of viewers have like their certain like favorite episodes and stuff like that. Like the Ambition episode is one, the Queen's Bully one. Mikey likes the All the Right, So we're gonna have hopefully we're gonna have a lot of those guests pop in for episode 100. So I don't want to talk up episode 100 like this is like the end all be all, because episode 101, 102, 103 are gonna be just as fire.
100 is gonna be fire.
But 100 is just special for us and for you
personally, because not many of you can get to 100. That's not a shot at anybody. That's just it's the truth. Like that's
an AR at everybody, because it takes persistence, man. As we grinded,
It does. And with that, shout out to hip hop advocates, man.
Yeah, they're plugging away. You know what I mean?
I'm very proud of what Chris is doing there.
100%.
Figs, you know what I'm saying? Rupt. Like they stay consistent. They got guests. They got sponsorships.
Yeah, man.
They're supposed to be hooking us up with some of that stuff.
They've
been lying to us for a while.
Chris is gonna hear this. He's gonna get on it. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah, but
Infinity, what's up?
Yeah, man. Nah, they doing their thing. You know what I mean? So like a lot of our like partners, are like everybody's like in their lane, but also coming back around. This 100, 101, 102, 103, and forward. It's gonna be
It's going to be a hot summer.
It's going to be special, yes.
It's going to be a hotter summer. Yo.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, baby.
Episode 98.
Episode 98.